Hey, Cardinals fans, welcome back to the Redbird Rundown, presented by I-70 Sports, your home for all things St. Louis Cardinals. I'm Andy, joined here today with Matt and Jonathan, and we would like, just a second, if you could share our Spotify or Apple links so with your friends. It helps us tremendously to grow this community. They can be found on Facebook, Blue Sky, Twitter, or X, if you will, and you can also watch us on YouTube. And before we hop into the baseball stuff, gentlemen, because the baseball world, the World Series, was both in Canada and the United States, LA and Toronto, I need you two, as my brothers, I'm going to try to pose this question as impartial as I can so you don't know what side I was on. I need you to settle something
Okay.
that was brought up because my daughter asked me where they were playing, and I told them that they're in Canada, and she knew that was a different country. So we started talking about countries that mom and dad have visited. So
Okay.
I need to know, is visiting a territory of a country, visiting that country, go.
You mean like a province of
It,
Canada, or do you mean like Puerto Rico is part
yeah.
of the
Yeah, if
United
you go to
States?
Puerto Rico, have you visited the United States?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think so. Yes. Yeah. I think I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Here's a better question, or maybe not better. Another one. What about if you go to the UK? If you go to Scotland, is that another country, or did you just go to the UK? Technically, isn't it just the UK?
That's a ridiculous geographical mess they have up there, and
Yeah.
It
I
is.
don't know if it just get out
I
of here
feel
with
like I
that
would
voice.
count the country of
So
Scotland,
if you
even though
went
it
to the
is. I
French
don't know.
Polynesia, for French Polynesia, you've gone to France?
All right, you're talking me. You're
Okay.
talking
All
me
right.
back
All
out of my
right. All
position.
right. All
Okay.
right.
All right. All right. So you've been to Prince Polynesia, or you've been to Puerto Rico. So what now? What are you getting at here?
Yeah.
Because you're obviously trying to talk us out of
Bec-
this. So you were trying to defeat your daughter in a game of
no,
logic.
my wife hopped in and she
Oh,
said that
okay.
she'd been to 7 countries, and then she started listing them, and I was like, wait a second. That's a territory. I wouldn't consider that a country. So
It's like a
like,
point five. Wouldn't you say?
right. I mean,
Yeah.
like, if you've been to
Yeah.
Guam, you haven't been to California, you haven't been to the United States. That's where I'm at.
So
That's
you
about.
said that she's
Okay.
been to 7 countries,
She has been to five, according to
but
my
that's in
count.
doubt. I was going to ask if it was 6 or 7.
No, I
Here's
that's
what I
out.
think.
That's
Here's what I think. I
outlawed.
think what we do is the more middle-aged white guys we have saying 6 or 7, the less it can stay in the zeitgeist of society. So I am single-handedly killing
And
it
Matt,
on the Redbird
why
Rundown
don't we both
podcast.
get mustaches?
Oh, no, 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 no.
Oh,
I
okay,
will not
okay.
be
Sorry,
doing
just
that.
kidding.
No,
Just kidding. Just kidding.
sure
Too
won't.
far.
I told
Too
my
far.
kids
Sure
at
won't.
school if they said that to me that they're gonna have to write a 670 word essay about how brain rot their society is, their generation is.
Yeah.
That's what.
Well,
Yeah.
Redbird Rundown on the front lines of killing it. You're welcome, everyone. Just everyone. You're welcome.
Okay,
Yep.
so let's tie this back into the World Series. That's how
Yeah.
that conversation stemmed.
Perfect.
If
Yeah.
you listener, if you're not may not be a Blue Jays fan, if you're listening to the Redbird Rundown, you may not be a Dodgers fan, but if you were a baseball fan,
Mm.
you enjoyed the last 2 games for sure of baseball. Some of the craziest things happened. Things happened that hasn't happened since Randy Johnson was pitching the big unit. Uh, Pitcher as the MVP, balls getting wedged underneath uh, walls in Game 6.
Can I ask you guys a super quick question about this? Do they have carpet as their warning track?
Oh, I
I zoomed
watched.
in on that picture. I think they have carpet as a warning track, right?
It is Matt. Do you
Wild.
remember playing Blueford?
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
Yes,
and it was
yes,
the stinking crushed brick.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
that so I watched a guy on it was like some local
hmm
Canadian network, but it got posted on Reddit, and he was out there, and as soon as he was like making the noise out there, I was like, that is like, I'm not saying it is crushed brick, but
Yeah.
that is what that consistency looked like, and that's what all the comments were like here I'm thinking all the warning tracks are dirt. I'm like, that was not dirt.
You ain't taking a ground ball unless you've had it off crushed brick. I'll tell you that.
Oh, you ain't slid unless you slid in it. You want to
Oh,
talk
that's
about
better.
ripping,
that
just
hurt.
absolutely ripping a
I
butt
just
cheek
didn't.
wide
I
open.
just
Yeah,
did not slide at Blueford. Nope, just tag me out. I'm out. I'm not
yeah,
sliding.
yeah.
Yeah, so that was crazy. The antics, the benches getting cleared. If
Mm,
okay, just take a second. It's like
Mm.
a 38-minute YouTube clip. Listener, go watch it. Game 7 on YouTube. Just type it in and watch the highlights. They do a great job of cutting out some of the stuff. But we
They do.
had we had drama like the manager for the Blue Jays were upset that Shohei Ohtani was getting like a 5 minute break in between from like batting to going out into the field to pitch. There was that drama. There was the guy that got hit in the hand. Don't know his name. I have no
Jimenez.
idea. Yeah, sure. Pulled a Fernando Tatis. Did you see that? The pitch
What did he do?
before.
Oh,
he,
yeah.
He took his hand off of the bat and tried to
You are
Pena.
referring to Fernando Vina, sir.
Oh, yes,
Fernando
thank you.
Vina.
Sorry,
Of the just shoulder turn in.
Yes.
He mastered that. Yeah.
You looped a curveball. That boy maybe was a heat seeker for that shoulder. No question about it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's what I saw that. I was like, bro, he tried to get hit.
Oh,
There
yeah.
was that. There was I am not a huge fan of either of those franchises. Like I like Shohei. Shohei's fun. And so I think I just kind of like watching Shohei, who was not great and as a pitcher in Game 7, but that's okay. He only had 3 days rest. You can't expect everyone to be Yamamoto. But
Sheesh.
right. I just lost my train of thought. Oh no. Oh well.
Well, let me give you my vibe check.
Yeah. Let's do
Okay.
that.
Yeah, because it's going to just lead right in. And this will, to some of the things I took away from the World Series. Here's my vibe check. Heim, this is more than 5 words. Sorry, everyone.
It's okay.
Heim, do whatever it takes to get us back there. Sell your soul to Satan.
Oh, that's what I was saying.
Make
Yes.
trades. Do whatever you have to do to get the Cardinals' devil magic back because
The heart rate was crazy high. Like I was
mine
edge
was
of my
crazy
seat.
high.
I know. That's what
laying
I'm
in my
saying.
bed watching on my iPad.
I
And I was
know.
like, boom, boom, boom,
I
boom.
know.
Yeah, just
I'm not even a
absolutely
fan. That's what I was saying. Yes.
wonderful,
Like,
amazing.
Let's do this.
Loved it. I guess I think I was marginally rooting for the Blue Jays because the Dodgers haven't really done anything wrong, but I do think they're ruining baseball through no fault of their own. But I will tell you, on the other hand, when they'd cut to Shohei, I thought, man, we need to get this guy some more rings. I mean, he is the GOAT.
Yeah.
And now if he wins like 4 or 5 rings, again, I don't want that because, I'm a Cardinals fan, but if he wins 4 or 5 rings, I watched that. You know what I mean? That happened in my lifetime.
Yeah.
So I do kind of root for that sometimes.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I was going to say my vibe check was just I was in awe. I am
Yeah.
in total awe of that. Watching that I watched bits and pieces of the first 5 games. I watched most of Game 6 and all of Game 7.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, it was just absolute butt pucker time
Yeah.
for all these innings. I mean, and I told my wife, I was sitting there, I was like, if this was the Cardinals, I wouldn't be in this house. You wouldn't talk to me. Don't even look at me.
Oh, man.
Right. And this is what's crazy too. Game 6, that game, Andy, you listed off a few of the crazy things with the ball wedged under the wall and he's throwing up his arms and people were freaking out. Should he have been able to do that? First of all,
100%.
back off.
Yes.
It's been a rule forever. It
Ever.
is what it is. Okay. The fact that Addison Barger got doubled off
Yep.
at second base. Listen, okay. I won't take you through the whole thing. There's one out. My wife's like, "Oh, they're just going to try to pitch for the double play." I'm like, "Well, it's not that easy. It's second and third. It's not a ground ball." 4 seconds later, it's a double play. I was like,
She knew it.
she's like, "See, I told you." And I'm like, "There's no see, I told you." The chances
She's an
there for
oracle.
that.
Jonathan, she's
Yeah.
the oracle. The
I was like,
Swami.
this is baseball. Like, is it not? You can have all this experience and all this knowledge, and this dude got picked off, doubled up at second base, which is just inexcusable. I mean, I can't believe that that's how that game ended. But I just thought that was so funny. I was like, yeah, I'm sitting here thinking I know something. She's like, oh, yeah, just double play.
The Blue
This
Jays,
is the scariest thing to me. I think this is the worst Dodgers team we're going to see for a while because
Blue
they
Jays
just
handed it to
barely
them.
eked it out. They did. The bullpen had nothing.
Yeah.
Last now came back in. I mean, Yamamoto threw more than 2 innings on just back-to-back day like
It was
that.
essentially
Just-
3
that's
innings.
Randy Johnson. That's the last
I
time
know.
that's happened.
Just
Insane.
absolutely crazy. I realize it's Game 7. There's no, you know what I mean? You're just going into the offseason.
Yeah, you
I
think
totally
he hurt
get
him?
it, but
Like, do you think he okay, just think about the ligaments there. Do you think he actually took sometimes I think about this. Like,
Yeah.
are there moments in life that took away from my end of my life? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, do you think that hurt his end of career? Like, I don't know, but
If it did, why else do you play baseball?
I guess.
I mean, that's the only time you're ever going to do it. You're sure
Yeah.
not doing it like for a 4-game set. in
No.
Colorado.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing it here. Here's the thing, and I'm curious what you guys think. The whole Dodgers ruining baseball thing is true. Matt, you said it. It's not really their fault. They're just doing what other teams should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're spending as much money as they possibly can, and I don't fault them for that. And, we talk about Yamamoto. That contract they gave him stretched out so far. There are 20 other teams that could have done that. Matt, you and I
Including
talked.
the St. Louis Cardinals.
You and I
Including
talked at
the St. Louis
length.
Cardinals.
We could have done that. He's
And
not
that's
making,
who you do it for. In his
He's
20s.
not making not that much more than Goldschmidt.
Yep.
When his prime, we could have signed him. The thing about this series is the Blue Jays lost this series.
Yep.
The
Yes.
Dodgers did not win this series.
Yep.
Mookie was, I don't even know where he was.
Well, he wasn't
Gone.
there.
Freddie looked a little washed. Tommy was nothing. All the role players did nothing. Shohei was pretty good. Will Smith was really good. And then Yamamoto just pitched every inning. But the Blue Jays had every opportunity to win this in Game 6 and in Game 7, and they just blew it. This is not like, oh my gosh, you hear the word dynasty, obviously, because they've won 2. This was a...
Yeah, it's not like Brady or something.
No.
Yeah.
So this isn't like the, oh my gosh, the big bad Dodgers have just won another one. Baseball's scripted. They've spent all this money. The Blue Jays should have won the World Series. It's as simple as that.
Yep. 2 games.
Yeah, they had 2
Game
chances.
6 and Game 7. Yeah.
Yeah, they should have twice. And so my vibe check was the
Yeah, Andy,
realization of how far, after watching that, how far away the Cardinals are from that.
I know. Don't you love, Andy, we're about to talk about the pitchers.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
in our
man.
system, and we're just going to sit here and talk about Yamamoto for 3 minutes. There's nobody we have.
Savage. I mean, they have Savage on the Blue Jays.
A
They
galaxy from that.
had, yeah, Gaussman. That those sinkers are otherworldly, and I'm looking at our stuff, and it's just that. So also our the ESPN's too early rankings came in. Cardinals
Yeah.
are ranked 26th on that out of 30 teams. And basically this is their stat line. This is their punchline about the Cardinals. Cardinals ranked 29th in strikeout rate for the pitchers. We were 29th in home runs as an offense. That's why they're like, basically, this is a rebuild. I can't see anything else of this happening next year for the Cardinals. And that was what my vibe check was. I'm like watching this. I'm like, I'm getting amped up, hyped up with Matt with like, my heart rate's way too high for this. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, what Cardinal player, like trying to envision our roster out there. And it's just like, no. We would absolutely have gotten shellacked by the Blue Jays.
Oh,
That
my gosh.
offense would have eaten us alive. And we didn't have the hit. The Dodgers would have shut us out every single night. We wouldn't have scored a single run. Just kind of like what the Brewers did. Think what they did to the Brewers.
I know.
Yep.
The chasm is so wide.
So Cardinals fan, that's
wide.
what I was thinking about. Was like, yikes. We are. It
And that
felt
used
like
to
a
be
light
us.
year.
Yep.
Used to be us every year. Year after year after year after year. We wouldn't win every year, but we'd be in the thick of it every single season. We used to be the Dodgers.
Yeah, we did. And I just got to say, one other moment I wanted to talk to you guys about. When Miguel Rojas hit that home run,
Oh my gosh.
I literally couldn't believe it.
he said after the game, I wasn't trying to hit a home run, which if you're Jeff Hoffman, you probably feel really good about that.
Yeah.
Great.
Wonderful.
This guy just accidentally hit a home run.
I mean,
for the first
if
time
you're
this year.
hitting in front of Shohei, wouldn't that be your goal too? Like, I'm just gonna get on base and let Shohei do something.
Absolutely. But did you see Dave Roberts' face?
Yeah.
I've never seen a manager put his hands on his head and
Yeah.
like close his eyes because he cannot believe what he's seeing. Normally they're very buttoned up.
Yep.
They don't do anything. I just thought that was so like the visceral reaction to like
Oh my
this
gosh.
guy.
What just happened?
He kind of crushed it too.
He did.
It did.
And then
I just
the back-to-back bases loaded, one out by both teams, failures to score. That was, that's what I said. Just if you like baseball, just seriously
It
watch
was
Game 6
beautiful.
and Game 7. The highlights. Put it on 1.5 speed if you don't have the time to watch
Yeah.
35 minutes, and it's cinema. It
well,
really is.
And I thought the last World Series, the Yankees in 2024, the Dodgers were clearly better. They were better. They won in 5 games. The Yankees looked sloppy. I thought the Blue Jays were the better team. They scored more runs. They had a better batting average. I mean, this Ernie Clement guy, they just found him
Addison
off
Barger.
nothing, and he has
Yeah.
the record for hits in a postseason.
Yep.
Just found him off the scrap heap. It's like they were better. They just they left the door open. Every time I would see Vladdy like coming off the field screaming, and it was like the 6th inning or the 7th inning. I was like, I don't know if I'd do that yet. Because it ain't over till it's over. I mean, if my wife's predicting a double play on 2nd and 3rd,
get
you better
the-
watch out.
That's right. Get the Oracle out there. You think the Blue Jays fans of Game 1 are upset about saying we don't need you? You think that's a true statement still?
I don't think that they're staying up at night worried about that. I think they
man.
were in the moment and they were fanning, but boy, it turned out to be wrong.
So
Wow.
that's to connect this with what we're doing today of going through our starting rotation. The only person, and we'll lead off with our ace. The only person I thought to myself, definitely not a Yamamoto performance, but like someone who belonged, like could belong there. The only player that I saw that is going to be Sonny Gray, the ace from last year. So would you guys, first of all, disagree with that statement? Was that like when I thought through all five guys? So again, for the listener, it's Sonny Gray, Matthew Liberatore, Palante, McGreevy, Leahy is who we're going to talk about today. We had Fetty, stuff like that. Is Sonny the only person that you said if you would do the same exercise that belongs in a World Series type situation as of
I
right
think he
now?
could have pitched. Yeah, I think I'm not sure he could have thrown. I'm not sure he could have started for the Dodgers with their starters, but I think he definitely could have started for the Blue Jays for sure. I mean, in the Scherzer spot,
Yeah.
maybe even the Shane Bieber spot for sure. Yeah, I still think at this point Sonny's got it. Yeah,
He's got the
not
strikeout
too much
stuff. That's
longer.
what you want,
Right.
right? But if you're like Fox pans to the bullpen and it's Michaelis, you're like
Could you imagine? Could
Oh
you?
my. Oh man.
Uh,
well,
do you think that's how the Dodgers fan like, yeah, Clayton Kershaw, best of all time? But like, do you think at some level when they saw Kershaw like warming up at like in game 6, was it game 6? He came
I
out of
think
the
they had
bullpen.
to be like, no, no,
Or,
no, no,
no, it was the
not
18
not
innings,
Kershaw
yeah.
again, not
right?
not again to
They were
him.
like,
Yeah,
oh no, kind of
I
like
think
how
they
we.
were so happy he got out of that inning. Yes, yes,
You
yes,
think do you think Matt
yes.
Carpenter sitting at home watching these games and he sees Kershaw and he's just like, I just want to go hit in the cage like right now. Or
Maybe
Matt
even Matt
Adams.
Adams. Maybe even Big City. Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, so let's start,
Yeah.
Jonathan, with
Okay.
Sonny. Let's give his performance review
Yeah.
as a Cardinal. Uh, mine is going to revolve around forearms. But let's
Love
go
them
with
dang forearms.
let's go with take us through some of
Okay.
the things that you saw from Sonny this year. Was he worth his roster spot?
Yeah.
Did he produce? Was he a good addition to this 2025 Cardinals team?
Yeah. So I'll answer the back half first. Yes, he was worth his roster spot. Yes, he was excellent this year, and I'll tell you why. So 3.6 WAR. That's great. That's the best pitcher we had. I'll quickly run through his stat line. 4.28 ERA. Yeesh. Right? Not
Mm.
as great. 1.23 WHIP. That's pretty good. Walks and hits
Mm-hmm.
per innings pitched. 3.39 fielding independent ERA. That's a huge one, folks. That matters more. The biggest thing for Sonny, 26.7 K percent. That's huge. That's really elite with a 5% walk rate. I'm going to quote this throughout all of the guys I do. Fangraphs does Pitching Plus, which puts together your stuff plus and your location plus. It's just like WRC Plus. It just normalizes their movement and their accuracy. His is 101, so 1% above league average. 100 is the baseline. The good about Sonny, he's a strikeout machine still. Back-to-back 200K seasons. Hasn't happened since Ueno. I know we talked about that. His run value on his slider and his curveball, which is both his best pitches, his slider, which we're calling that kind of slider sweeper, so that's really what it is, was 7.8. That's one of the best in the league. That sweeper is still just moving like nobody's business. That's the good. The bad, his sinker fastball got crushed this year to a tune of 25 home runs given up, which is the highest he has given up in his entire career. And that is in a pitcher-friendly ballpark of Busch Stadium. So that's kind of scary, and I don't think that's going to get any better as that velocity starts to go down, right? That really good year he had for Minnesota, his run value on his straight stuff, sinker and fastball, was a lot better. So that means that as he ages here, I'm afraid that as that fastball gets slower and slower, it's going to get crushed even more. So what do I think about him going forward? We got to keep him, I think, unless you get some kind of Godfather option or offer, right? If somebody comes up to you and says, we'll give you these prospects and this guy and blows you away, I think you have to do it. But bottom line here, guys, and I think we're going to talk about this a lot, we need arms for 2026. We have to have somebody throw innings. He's good. I think his value is only going to continue to rise up into the trade deadline, right? If we feel like we want to move on from him at the trade deadline because we're terrible and we're trying to tank or whatever it is, but we need arms. And Sonny's been an excellent one. Keep him unless you just get blown away by an offer. Is where I'm at.
Matt?
Yeah, I was struck by that big spread between the ERA and the FIP. You didn't quote this, Jonathan, but his
Yeah.
xFIP was 3.07. So his expected for what he threw and what he did was even better. Though both those numbers, his FIP and his xFIP, are well below his career averages. So as a 35-year-old guy, and Jonathan, you were also right to hone in on his sinker fastball stuff. He was bit by the home run bug really bad. I will also
Bad.
note he ran a really high BABIP for the quality of pitcher. So I also think he ran into some bad luck. So the home runs are an issue. Being 35, going to be 36 next year, that's a big issue. He was obviously far and away our best pitcher. I think he still has it. I think that we are seeing the warning flags up with him, though. You're quoting that fastball
Yeah.
velocity decline. Do we have him next year? Okay, here's my stance on Sonny. We're paying him $35 million next year in the last year of his deal.
Correct.
That doesn't really bother me too much because somebody's going to get paid, right? We're just going to. Could we sneak into the playoffs if everything breaks right? I mean, we were not gargantuanly far away from the playoffs this year. So having him in the rotation, nobody else is ready. I'm okay with keeping him. I'm also okay if they get an offer that I think is good. I'm also okay trading him. I'm not like wedded to him, but I think it would be good to have him headline the rotation next year and just give us that consistency and the strikeout stuff. And I think it would be good to have him around.
Can I say that I think that Sonny is we are looking at him through rose-tinted glasses because of how poor
Mm.
the rest of the rotation is. That he is a so like if we take a step back and look at the value that he's producing for his salary, and I agree with you, Matt. Someone's going to make the money. But if you just look at it from like we're the GMs, we're looking at pure value here. He is uh average-ish. Like he's just average-ish. Like he's not bad. I'm not saying at all that Sonny Gray is a bad
Yeah.
pitcher. Like that's not what I'm about to say. Like he is on level. Like he's not a steal,
He's pitching to his contract.
right at it. Like right
Yeah.
in that zone
But I
of
think what we're paying for is above average pitcher. I think we are getting that, you know?
right. I mean
Yep.
his WAR is toward like average to above average.
Yeah.
Uh but his salary like it's yeah, we're basically getting
Market value for who he is. And I love that you've introduced this. This is one of my favorite things we've been doing. That is different because he is older.
Yeah.
This is what happens. When you get older, you don't have these rookie deals. You do have to pay up for it, which is why it's silly. We've been paying the Lance Lands and the Kyle Gibsons. Sometimes it's okay to have these bigger contracts. You'd love for them to beat it. I feel good about what he's done for us on the contract that he's done.
And
But you're right, Andy. He's
yeah.
not beating it by a ton.
right. He's Zach Wheeler is making like 42 million. Jacob DeGrom's doing 40 million. Like those are some other names that like Sonny Gray is just just barely underneath them,
Yeah.
and he's not quite all the way up there. So it's a tough thing for me whenever I sat and I enjoyed watching Sonny, like the game we went
Hmm.
to, and he was a strikeout machine. He was just sitting people down left and right. That was fun as a Cardinals fan to watch that. He just is like a B minus somewhere in there is where
Yeah.
I rank him if we're doing a grade scale. That's where I have him. He's not C, he's not anything below that, but he's not like, oh my gosh, we have got to, do everything in our power. I would agree with what you guys are saying of like shopping
Yeah.
him. I know he has a no trade clause, correct?
Yep.
Yes. He's open to waiving it for the right deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the other piece about the contract thing you have to remember is that in his first year he made $10 million and he overperformed that by probably 2 times. And that gave us an opportunity to sign other guys, which we kind of squandered that. But this deal was backloaded. And I think that is okay now because we're not trying to we're trying to compete. But if we got to pay Matt $35 million, it's not like he's making $35 million every year for 10 years. Like if you look at Zach Wheeler, he's going to make it $42 million for the next few years in a row. This $35 million for Sonny is a one-off. He's if you average it out, it's maybe
Like
19
25 million.
something like that.
Yep.
That makes more sense.
My expectation for him is next year, if we have him, he's going to come much closer to being worth that number than Michaelis was this year, or Lynn or Gibson, those other guys. Now,
But
it could completely fall off the cliff for him. But
I was going to say, here's the thing I'm scared about, Matt, is that when the sweeper doesn't sweep as much, he's going to fall off a cliff. I know the underlying metrics are really good, but his velocity is only going down. And at some point, it's going to be really bad. I don't necessarily think it's next year, but the trend of giving up a ton of home runs just tells me that that's not a good sign. I mean, think about the exercise you did with Helsley. We saw that one coming.
Yeah. I mean, he's 36 years old. This is what you get. He's an aging starter. Yeah.
That's tough, dude. Same age as me. Stay strong, Sonny. I mean, right. Clayton Kershaw, who's the Dodgers pitcher listener, who's retired and who we refer to of like, oh no, this Miles Michaelis warming up in the bullpen. He's 30. Kershaw is retiring and he's 37. And people were kind of teeing him up a little bit this past, you know what I mean? Like his stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Scherzer.
He's had more injuries than Sonny has had, but again, you're getting into the age that is a professional athlete. This is where that starts to happen. So
the only thing that we peak at the 40, right at 40, we peak at long distance running, gentlemen. That's about it. That's the only thing you peak at. So if you're not 40 yet, you have long distance running. You peak about 41. So there you go.
I do not peak. I absolutely will not peak.
Well, I'm just telling. That's a metric. So
somebody's writing it down frantically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I can still peak at something.
Get this man in the Olympics. All right.
All right, so let's just go into someone who is not peak. Let's go into Palante.
All right.
Right. So Matt, was Mr. Palante worth the roster spot? Is he worth it going in the future? What would rate him? Let's do a grade level. You're a teacher. Let's give him a grade level at the end there. What you think he was?
Okay, look, I tried to just take deep breaths and go to Palante's Fangraphs page, his baseball reference page, and I thought I was like, okay,
that's exercise.
You're just gonna do this. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And I found stats, but you know what, guys, I just can't do it. I can't do the stats. I don't want to do the stats. So Palante is an Italian last name, so I am going to address Andre Palante as his Italian grandmother that lives in Boston. Have some things to say to him. So
okay, please.
Here we go.
Okay.
Andre, I've been going to the Little League game since you were knee-high to a grasshopper, and I cannot believe I feel like, Andre, you've collapsed. You've gone back to it. You're just throwing fastballs and sinkers right down the middle. Yep. These guys are teeing it up like your Uncle Tommy tees up the lasagna that I make for him. I was talking to Father John the other day, and I said, Father John, I cannot believe Andre. He's down there in the dumps. I can't believe it. We're going to put him in a car in the harbor and just sink it down there. Andre, you got to stop throwing the ball right down the middle of the plate. These are professional hitters. These are not the guys in the backyard that the grandmas all to get together about the neighborhood watch about, okay? So we got problems. You got to fix it. You're off this team, all right? We do not have a rotation spot from you, and I'm your grandmother. So just get it out of here. You're 26 years old. You can't figure it out not to throw it right down the middle. Just get out, Andre.
Grandma, give him a grade. That was beautiful, by the way. Claps all around for that.
I mean, even his own grandmother. There's no way I can give him above an F. It was just absolutely terrible, and we don't have the explicit rating, so I can't really say what the F stands for on the air.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Now, shouts to Palante, the last name. Shouts to Italian people everywhere. Shouts to Father John's. Just I mean, no disrespect by any of that, but I'm telling you, that is the only way I could get through that, was to just channel this Italian grandmother screaming at him. That was it.
So let's put numbers to Grandma Palante. Yeah. Okay.
Let's do it.
But before I let you go, Jonathan,
sure.
Home runs per 9. He almost doubled what he did last year. Okay, so he gave up, like, quite literally twice as many home runs as he did last year. That's a tough look. His K rate was not at his career low, but you said Sonny's was at 26. Is that correct?
That's right.
Andre's was at 15, which would add to what the ESPN writer wrote about the Cardinals' strikeout rate of the 29th in the league.
Well, when you start Michaelis and Palante for 40% of your games, that's what you're going to get.
And
Fetty. Oh, I blocked that out of my mind.
Me too.
So the average people hitting against him, again, was not even the worst that he's had in his career. It was 267, but his BABIP is sitting at like 300 ball. Like, again, listener, if you just take a step back and think, okay, how do we discern if someone's a good pitcher? It's just as easy as does he get some people out? And if your pitcher is not getting people out 30% of the time, that's a tough. So, Jonathan, anything to add to Grandma Palante or some of these numbers here?
Yeah, you said giving up home runs. I mean, it was almost 3 times more than 2024. Almost 3 times. This is the stat that truly blew me away the most. We know the ground ball rate stuff. He's elite, right? Nobody necessarily cares about that if your ERA is 5.31, which is what it was. Okay. His fastball had a run value of minus 8.8. That is horrific and so concerning for him because the fastball is his best pitch. Historically, 2022, 2023, 2024, it was plus, way over plus. This is what he generates all these ground balls with. Well, if you give up 21 home runs, your fastball is going to suffer. The thing that's crazy about Andre Palante is the rest of his underlying metrics, Grandma Palante, are not that bad. They are not that bad.
You're really right. He's always had talent. He always has. I've said
I don't know
it
what
for
to tell you.
Years and years. Andre, you've had talent, my boy.
Here's the problem with Andre. He is too reliant on the pitch to contact stuff. We're going to see, and I'm going to say that a couple times here. He's too reliant on it. He doesn't strike dudes out, so he's got to be perfect. And I truly, like, what do I want to do with him in the future? What are we going to do? I guess we have to try to keep him. We have nobody else right now. I don't want him, but I mean, can he rebound? If he's just as terrible, do we move him to the bullpen where he found some success? I mean, I truly, if it was up to me, I would not want him, but I don't know who replaces him, and we have to have dudes.
So the exercises that sometimes you see posted on the internet of like, you have like $5 and they have like people listed at $3, $2, $1.
Yeah.
My question to you is that's where I landed on him was his .7 WAR. Okay, no, it's .7. Would you take .7 WAR for $2 million? Like, is that like, is that
not
on
if I have to watch it like that?
No, I mean, no. If we signed somebody in the offseason or Leahy takes his spot, I'm not going to have a single problem with this. If we don't and we run him back out there and his leash is not super long, that's okay with me too. We just cannot have an entire year of this. He was brutal with a capital B to watch. He was. And I don't think we can sit here and watch him do this again and again and again.
I would far, far rather them do something like find a Leahy in another organization and bring him in, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, wow, this guy was in the bullpen, and here we go. I would much rather try that and fail at that than run Palante out there again. The craziest thing, you guys said this, his 2024 is actually pretty good. So really, realistically, he's probably somewhere in the middle. He's not the worst pitcher in baseball, but he's probably not that 2024. So if we do have to run him out there again, I think it's reasonable to expect some kind of better results than we got this year. But I just don't see the point to it. I don't see what the future is. He's not going to strike anybody out. He's just not baseball, and that's not how baseball is played anymore. I don't know what the point of continuing to do this is. Besides, we don't have anybody else to pitch.
I think
that's what I landed at. That's where I landed. Yeah.
So put him in there for $2 million for his almost one more. Maybe he'll get one more and see if the baby birds that are down in the minors can at some point later this year come and take a spot.
Yeah.
Let's move on to a player who is having at the time of this recording and posting will be 26 and 4 days is Matthew Liberatore. So happy birthday, Matthew. We know that you listen, good listener of the pod.
Yes, of course.
Also happens to be basically our 1 year anniversary of this podcast. So
happy birthday to us.
Woo!
Yeah. So let's talk about Birthday Boy. Yep. He posted a 1.8 WAR this past year. He also, just how I said about Palante, about his BABIP, which is basically a normalized, like what in normal circumstances people would hit against you. He also is pitching 300 ball. So some things to think about there. He did have a higher strikeout rating. So, what, Jonathan, in your mind sets Libby? So I gave two things that are similar.
Okay.
Contrast that with why do we probably feel better about Libby than we did about Palante?
Well, that's an interesting way to frame this. I think Libby has strikeout stuff. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Palante does not. He lives and dies on the ground. Libby, I mean, I'm clocking his strikeout rate at 18.8%.
Right.
That's great. That's on the top half of the league, or at least gaining towards the top half of the league. I'm just excited that he made it through the entire year, truthfully. like health-wise, he's been drug around this organization like a darn dog nobody wants, right? And he made it through the year. He's got a good pitch mix. He has good off speed. His fastball looks good. He implemented a cutter. I think we talked about that early in the year that he needed to implement another pitch so that he could get some more swing and miss from the right side, I think, because that was really killing him. He did that. He made it his counting stats. His ERA, his FIP. It's not otherworldly, but I have a lot of hope in Liberatore because he has shown that he can strike people out, and we are so desperate for that, right? So Palante is not going to strike anybody out. He is just pitch to contact central. It's going to change every other start. If Liberatore can continue to dial in his location to keep that K rate up, I love that he's going to be here, and I do want him going forward. He has the most promise that is currently on the roster, because I'm not talking about Doyle, I'm not talking about any of the other premier pitchers in the minor leagues. I actually have faith in him because of his strikeout potential, Andy.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, I do not want to do an extension for him. Let me just start there. He's got one rookie contract year left and then 3 arbitration years. He scares me a little bit. He had an incredible March, April, May, and he had a strong bounce back September, but he was just outright bad in June, July, and August. And I think there's a lot that goes into that, Jonathan. You're right. We yanked his career around all over the place. He was on the Zach Thompson bullet train for sure. He's pitched more innings this year than he ever has, which is why you love to see that September bounce back. So the question, I don't know what to make of him going forward. Yes. Is he the pretty dang good March, April, May, September pitcher, or is he the heat of the summer pitcher? Again, he's probably somewhere in between there. But the difference to me between him and Palante, McGreevy, which we'll get to in a second, I'm sure, is that strikeout stuff. It's like league average punch out.
It's right there.
At least it's league average, right? And you could potentially see him. I mean, he is a baby starter. This is his first year to just get a full runway. Sorry to use the phrase again. But just a full runway.
Acid reflux when you said that.
So, I mean, going into your age 26 season and it's your second year as a starter, I have hope for him. He's got to be in the rotation. I think we're miscasting him as like I hate these phrases, but like the number 2 starter. I think that's a little high for him. I think we need the Doyles, the Matthews, the Tinkenses, I think we need the Ishan Henderson. We need those guys to pass him up in the rotation, but I think he's a serviceable to possibly good major league pitcher. And those are in short supply in the Cardinals major league rotation.
Yeah.
And he's cheap. And so I think it's wonderful. It's awesome. And we need to hold on to him for sure.
Yeah, because when I put them side by side, I was kind of astounded at all the advanced metrics that were basically on the same air, like in the same vicinity as Palante. And so that's, again, going back to what I said about Sonny, it's just like when we are comparing Sonny, there are differences, listener, between Libby and Palante, but I think that's why Sonny looked like leagues above if you compare our 5 to 6 to 7 starters that we had this past year. But then you go and look at the greener pastures of what we just witnessed in the playoffs, and I'm not talking about just the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. I'm talking about all the starters, all the rotations, and I was like, I don't know if Libby right now where's Libby pitch for us in a World Series in a play like.
Well, Libby of April and May was looking like an all-star, maybe like a fringe all-star. He was very, very good.
He was.
To begin the season. It's just that middle of the season for his stats really just hit him over the head with the club, and he couldn't quite recover with a good September. Yeah. So it is very, very much a tale of 2 seasons with him, and we're really going to see going forward which one was it, because you're right, he doesn't have like sit-down elite blow-away kind of stuff. So there is some risk in his profile, and we're just going to have to see going forward what he can harness and what kind of results.
And the two things about Libby and Palante is that, we've seen these guys for years now, not in a starter's role. Palante has been a starter longer than Liberatore, but as the time moves on here and these AA guys turn into AAA guys, these are the dudes who have the pressure on them. I know we talk about you need starters, but I mean, do you remember Dakota Hudson, Matt?
Oh yeah. Yep.
We threw him out there and we did it over and over and over. And it's like, what are we doing? Well, we eventually cut bait. This feels like these guys are turning into the next Dakota Hudson, where there's some promise, or he has some stuff, just never puts it together. If Libby is the first half guy, look out. right? If he's a second half guy, then he's probably not
Uh-oh.
on the team in a year or two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, let's move on to who Matt mentioned, Michael McGreevy. Uh, he is also another young hurler for the Cardinals. He's 25. He also posted about what Palante did, zero point 0.9 WAR. Matt, why don't you take us through what you thought of what I would imagine it's going to sound similar-ish to what we just said about Libby, maybe not, but go ahead, take us through it.
Nope. Cardinal Nation, I'd like to introduce you to future Miles Michaelis. The guy has
Mm.
absolutely zero strikeout stuff whatsoever at all. Now, let me say this. Miles Michaelis had a couple years where he was a legitimate all-star because his command was otherworldly. If Michael McGreevy can harness that while he's still young and still got the velocity to be able to get away with some of those pitches, then I think McGreevy can have some productive seasons. But let me say this as clearly as I can to the Cardinals organization, and we just hired some new guys that will have a hand in this. Stop drafting this kind of pitcher. Just stop it. There is the ceiling on Michael McGreevy is so low because he has maybe less strikeout stuff than Palante does. And everybody was like, "Oh, let's bring him in. He's going to save the rotation." Because every time he'd come in and pitch, he'd like throw those, random
Yeah.
start games. He'd have 5 innings and 1 earned run. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh!" And I just kept thinking in the back of my head, "Dude, we're going to throw this guy in the rotation, and he's going to get lit up sometimes." And that is exactly what happened to him. So his is all going to be based on his command. He does not have overpowering stuff. We have 6 years of control left for him. Stick him in the rotation
Yep.
because, like I said, Michael has had some good years, but I cannot say too strongly. And this day after 2 days after Halloween, he scares me to death long term.
So real quick, Jonathan, before you
Yep.
hop in, just
Sure.
to put it in perspective of Matt saying there's no strikeout stuff, McGreevy's K rate was at 14.5. Let's go top to the top. Again, let's just go see who earned the World Series MVP. So, and again, it was unbelievable. Yamamoto's pitching, like the complete games, he was a robot, he was a machine. It was
Yeah.
insane. But that machine produced a K rate of 30%. Okay, so that's how far. Like again, we're
More than
talking about
double.
the chasm. Like,
Hmm.
and again, it's not the type of pitcher that and I would agree. But look who was there in the postseason. Was it the people who pitched to contact? I didn't see very many pitch to contact pitchers out there. I saw a bunch of people that would just go up there and they were zipping people out like crazy.
Hmm.
They'd throw up 10 Ks in a game. That's who was in the World Series in the postseason. So Jonathan, hop in
Yeah.
there about what you think about was McGreevy worth his spot?
Yeah.
Is he worth his spot going forward?
Yeah. Again, I just think we just are so depleted until we start promoting some of these guys in the minor leagues that we're going to have to see McGreevy. He's not otherworldly. I mean, there are some things about him that are good. I mean, by pitching plus, and I'm not counting Leahy here because Leahy's was a little higher. He had the best pitching plus of all of our pitchers at 104. Why is that? Because his location, his command is insane. His command is like 113. That's really high. It's just a Michaelis clone, Matt. You nailed it. The problem with him is again, he's just too pitch to contact. Right? If he's good and he's on and his location is on and his movement, his stuff is as high as it's going to go, he's going to throw 8 innings and be pretty good. That's what's going to happen. If he falters in any way, he's going to get
We saw him.
battered.
Yeah, we saw those starts already.
Absolutely. So when you see the ERA of 4.42, this is what he's going to be. He's going to be a 4 ERA guy.
Yep.
He's going to post every 5 days or 4 days or whatever. He's going to pitch. But, this is like I can't kick this out of my head. This guy is just a future Colorado Rocky. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you
We
know what
said
I'm
Dakota
saying?
Hudson, and I was
I
just like,
feel
oh,
that
yeah,
way. Like,
AKA Michael McGreevy. Yes.
He's okay. He's going to be like a
Yeah.
2 WAR pitcher, maybe. There's the ceiling. He could come out and blow us away because baseball is baseball, but the underlying metrics don't show or predict anything that would tell you that he's going to be good. Again, what do I want to do with him next year? Who else we have? We have to keep him, I guess. We have to run him out there and see what he can do, but he's a back end starter who's a future Colorado Rocky. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, right. He's not
Or
going to
he's a future St. Louis Cardinals, and we become the Colorado Rockies.
Maybe we have to start him. We have to see what he is, but
Well,
he's
you
never
keep
going to
saying
go out
that.
and kill you.
And you're right about we have nobody to pitch. But I just want to challenge that. Trey Yesavage pitched in single A this year, right? We're going to have to change this paradigm of we have these We have these horses in the minors. I think we're going to have to promote them more quickly
I'm
and find a way to churn those guys out quicker because
I
there's
love it.
nothing blocking them in St. Louis. Nothing at
yeah.
all blocking them in St. Louis.
I think that's what I'm most excited about was Himes. I want to see the personnel. I want to see what he does to the roster, what he's wrong. That's what I'm most excited about. I
Yeah.
hope, I pray, just I don't even care. Like just try it because what we got right now is just again, listen, just the gap between what is occurring in the postseason or where we are. It ain't happening. Sorry, boys.
Yeah.
I don't care if you have a favorite of our rotation. It ain't happening with this rotation.
No, and Matt, we should have said this at the beginning, but you're 100% right. There is nothing blocking anyone from coming up and trying. Truly, like there is like. Do you remember this last year? It was we got Fetty and Michaelis, so McGreevy.
I mean,
can't
my
come
God,
up.
we did this to McGreevy for years.
Think about how depressing that sentence is. We don't have a role for you, Michael, because Fetty and Michaelis are in the rotation. That's just disgusting stuff right there.
This
So-
is going to sink our team in 2026. This right here, this is by far the worst performance review we're going to give.
Yes, it is.
This is going to blow us up and get those lottery balls.
We're just
going
gonna have to see like how far do they take this?
Yes.
How far do they take this? I mean, who's safer? McGreevy, Liberatore, Palante. Between
I
the
mean,
three of those
Libby,
guys.
for sure, no doubt, Libby.
I think it's
I
Libby.
think Libby could be on the next great Cardinals team. You're smart to have posed that question. I think he could. The rest of them, I don't think they're anywhere near it.
No.
And it's just Sonny Gray because of his age. That's all.
And I completely removed Sonny from the equation, but after Sonny, it is thinner and thin.
Like Sonny's hairline.
Not the forms though.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The forearms thick. All right, let's move on to the last one that we're going to get the performance review about today, which is Kyle Leahy, who didn't really get an opportunity to go into those long start. Like there basically is us seeing, do we need to see him in a starter's role because we have nobody. So Matt, why don't you take us through first?
Yep.
He picked more of that long relief kind of relief guy. So let's see what you think about that.
I want to see Kyle Leahy start. Now, let me say this.
Yep.
For a franchise that knows what they're doing or is expecting to go deep into the playoffs, Kyle Leahy should not start. He's got average K stuff, which again is better. You start comparing that to like Palante and McGreevy. You're like, wow, he really looks like Yamamoto out there. He's got very, very low walk rates. He really, really limited hard hit rate. Now, whether that is a skill of his or whether that is like somewhat randomized because he's coming out of the bullpen in these shorter stints, although he did do some multi-inning things, it's still not as many innings in a row as a starter.
Yeah.
And most importantly, whether he can repeat that the second time through, the third time through the lineup with his stuff. He does have 5 or 6 pitches, so he's got a bunch. Those are going to be key questions. My thing about getting Kyle Leahy in the rotation is it's not like he has like elite overpowering stuff like some of the other guys we'll talk about in the bullpen that I also might be interested in seeing at what they could do as starters. But it's just because he did have this level of success and there's more hope to me than Palante and McGreevy because he does strike out more guys while still limiting the hard contact. So if he were to be able to repeat that in the rotation, obviously this is an extremely valuable piece at 28 years old with 5 years of control. We're still 2 years away from him even getting to his arbitration years. So as far as that goes, he's incredibly valuable, especially if we can put him in the rotation. But I just want to say he's not going in the Dodgers rotation. He's not going in the Blue Jays rotation. He's not going in the Yankees rotation. Yeah, right. The best franchises, that's not what we're doing. The Cardinals are doing something completely different. So do I want to see Kyle Leahy? Sure. But again, me going out there throwing left-handed might be better than some of the things we have.
Not a lefty either.
This really depressed me. I'll tell you, this performance review of the starters really, really depressed me. And I like Kyle Leahy.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
I don't mean anything against him.
Yeah.
No, Kyle Leahy was extremely successful last year as a bullpen guy.
Yes.
I mean, I checked his K percentage. It was 22% out of the pen.
Yep.
Holy cow, we'll take that all day of the week. From a guy who was nothing to that,
Yes.
that's really great. And this is what's so sad about this is it's like the answer is we don't have anybody else. So, Kyle, what about you? What about you, Kyle? You got 6 pitches. You ever thought about throwing more than 2 innings? That's kind of where we are right now, which is sad, but I'm excited to see Does this guy have something? Because if he doesn't, it is a completely like there is a zero. This is a zero sum game, buddy. If you're terrible, okay, you'll go back to the bullpen. That's fine. If you're
Right.
great, wow, pat ourselves on the back for giving this a try. Great.
Yes.
Liam Doyle's going to come take your spot. Who cares? And you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Right. His rookie
So,
contract,
yep.
he gave a 1.4 WAR, like
Out of the bullpen with
out of the
83
pen.
innings. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
we
that's
just need to
good.
see
That's
this
impressive.
year with Leahy. He's a guy, and I hope we see more people like this. It may be Henderson, it might be Bryson Motts, it might be I don't, who knows? There's a list of names this could be. Can you do it at the major league level? Leahy
Yeah.
has done it in the bullpen. Can he now transition to a starter? It seems like he's probably going to be able to. He has all the tools, all the underlying metrics we have not quoted, the pitch mix. We kind of know that. He could do it. I just want to see, are we going to do this with more of these guys? We don't need to see 6 months of Palante or 6 months of Leahy per se if they struggle really badly. If and these other double A, triple A guys perform. What are we waiting for
Yeah.
with that? There's
That's why-
nothing. Because you said, Matt, this is the point I was trying to make. This is a depressing performance review. It is, but it also feels good to have a clean slate to know that there is legitimately no one on the major league level prohibiting any of these guys at the minor leagues to come up and pitch. I don't see it. Like Takoa Roby, whenever he comes back, he was really good. He got hurt. That sucks. What the heck is stopping him from just inserting himself right into the rotation? We have hated for years how it's like, oh my, Michaelis is going to get trotted out there. And now, well, we have Fetty. We got to pitch him. I hope we never have to do that again. These guys are all cheap. They're expendable. Let's see who else we can throw in there if we need to.
Yeah, I'm really excited about and looking forward to, maybe not excited, I'm anticipating what the spring training invites look like from the pitching standpoint and how they perform, who gets named to stuff
Yep.
underneath the Heim Bloom era. I think it's important as Cardinals fans to care about this. It's not something to dismiss. I know sometimes pitching is a snoozeville until someone electric happens in the postseason. But like, from like the day-to-day kind of thing, it's kind of like snooze fest because the more exciting stuff are the big bombs and, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Unless someone's electric and is lights out and, that's fun to watch. But like from a pitching standpoint, you need to muster as a fan of Cardinals Nation, you need to at least muster a little bit of like care into the starting rotation because it's an area in which is like you guys have said,
Yeah.
it's the worst part. And that's not great. That's the worst part of the our rotation doesn't need to be the worst part. It's probably one of the easier things to quote unquote fix, especially like what you guys are saying. Just like dump the young guys in there
Yeah.
and see what happens. Some of them go to the bullpen, some of them end up as starters. You cut some, you start over and do it all over again with rookie contracts.
I got a question for you guys because this one really kills me. I have read many times from Katie Wu, and not just her, but I'm going to quote her specifically, where people say, we're not going to promote for need. We're going to promote when they're ready. What I don't understand sometimes is what is ready for these guys. Like, let's say, Ishan Henderson, right? Oh, Exion. That's what I'm going to call him. He
Yeah.
comes up and he's doing great in AAA. It's like, I hope Heim has a quicker hook for some of these guys and brings them up. I don't like this, to your point, Matt, with Trey Savage. Dude jumped 6 levels, and there's only 4 of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see us be aggressive with that. I don't want us to just slow roll this and say, well, we're in a rebuild. Well, we got to see this. What do you guys think about that philosophy of, we don't want to promote them too fast. We want to promote them for need. We want to make sure they're ready. Like, do you subscribe to that really at all?
Andy, go ahead.
I the only thing that comes to my mind as a cautionary tale on that front would be the Rick Ankiel experience. Did we do that to him? Did he fall apart? Was it too high pressure? But there's people out there like Trey Savage who can do it. So that's an interesting thought. I think I need a little bit more time to reflect on that. Matt, maybe you can guide what I think. Like I think there might be some part to it. I think is where I'm gonna sit on the fence. Like
Sure.
yes and no at the same time.
Well, I got bad news for both of you.
Uh-oh.
Historically speaking, Heim Bloom, and he's been on the record with this, he likes to be cautious with pitching prospects and promoting them. Now, he's a smart guy, and whether he's seen this trend in Major League Baseball to push these guys quicker. I mean, it's almost every year. These guys, some of these franchises are drafting a pitcher high and then they're like turning around. He's pitching for that franchise towards the end of the year or early into the next season. So maybe Heim will kind of jump on that bandwagon. But I favor a more aggressive approach, because I think there's always injury risk. So let's use the bullets in St. Louis where they actually matter. Let's not use them in Memphis. And then B, as we've just said, if 2025 is a runway year, then 2026 could be a just black hole, outer space, no gas in the spaceship kind of year. You know what I mean? Just absolutely just drifting out there.
Yeah.
So let's drift with some high upside guys. If you're telling me right now, we're going to go to the free agent market and we're going to do the sign a veteran who we know will pitch. I don't want to do that. I want to see guys with potential upside in the rotation because what's the point? We're not going to the playoffs, right? That's just not where we're at as a franchise. And Andy, you keep saying that. So yes, I want us to be aggressive. And if we sign some free agent, I want to find some guy with like crazy strikeout stuff, but he's got this problem and we'll try to fix it. That's what I want to see. I have nothing against the Kyle Gibsons and the Lance Lynn's and the John Lackey. Well, John Lackey was awesome for us. You know, that just long line of veteran starters. I have no issue with that. We don't need a veteran starter. We're not putting the last pieces on a playoff team. We're not that. We need to see some guys develop. So that's just what I want to see. Now, whether we do that or not, I don't know.
Well, you scared me with the Heim thing that I want us to be cautious. It's just, this is the first time I can remember in recent memory we're not trying to win per se.
Let's push these guys.
That's what I want to do. There is nothing blocking these dudes. There isn't. If Palante goes and he sucks in 3 starts, what is a fourth one going to be any different? There's already been 18 we just saw that were terrible.
We have like 4 flame emoji pitchers too, just sitting there.
I
mean, 4 guys that are exactly what baseball is. Their UCLs are going to blow at some point. Get him up to St. Louis and let's just see.
I mean, think about this. Tink Hence has been on the 40-man roster for 2 years. And I don't even know if he's pitched an inning in AAA.
Let Tink tinkle in the bullpen. You know what I mean?
Why not? Let him shake it out there. It doesn't matter. Like, for goodness sake, saving your bullets, right, for St. Louis? I agree. These guys are on the 40-man. Put them out there right now. What are we trying to do?
Yeah, I think so.
That's where I'm at.
That's why I'm anticipating and anxious about who is coming up this year for the pitching. It's got to change. It's bad. It's bad in St. Louis.
I need to see Doyle yell at people. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
There's a couple of John boys that you guys need to watch that are not family friendly. That happens on Game 7. Either way. Well, thanks for tuning in for the Redbird Rundown, your go-to source for all things St. Louis Cardinals. Be sure to subscribe and review the show. It really helps us grow. Follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, and YouTube for the latest updates. Keep those rally caps on, and let's go Cards.
Andre, stop throwing the ball right down the middle.